KOSP, Brookline, Springfield. It's time for the starting lineup with Scott Purdy, Ed Reynolds, and Art Haynes on 102.1 The One. Always the sure bet.
And a good morning to you all, and welcome to the starting lineup. Delighted to have you with us on an absolutely beautiful Tuesday in the Ozarks. Ed Reynolds joined by
Scott Purdy.
Art Haynes will be with us a little bit later on, and for the next 2 hours, we are right here talking sports and whatever. And like to hear from you at 417-447-1021. Phone line and the text line. Don't feel like talking to us? Well, you can text us on that line as well. 447-1021. Starting lineup brought to you by Play It Again Sports, Fremont Shopping Center, Battlefield and Fremont, Springfield. Magnificent deals just for you, folks, and some really good trade-ins as well.
Master specials going on, too.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that, too.
Yeah, let me. Can you stall for, give me 5 seconds? Talk about what a beautiful day it is right now in the Ozarks.
Sun is coming right up. It's cool. It's going to be a great day. The Springfield Cardinals open up. Do you have it there yet?
And we're ready, yes. The free grip install all week. This is the Masters Week Golf Sale, Play It Again Sports, April 6th to the 12th. Get your grips installed for free. Usually buy the grips and then pay a small installation fee. Not this week as part of the Masters special. They got new and used putters 10 to 30% off. Cleveland wedges 10% off. Used golf balls $5 a dozen. Package sets at a discount. New Atonic golf shoes 20% off. They got lots of golf stuff. This is your week to go out to Play It Again Sports and check out the Masters Week Golf Sale. And you can be a practitioner of all that equipment at Swing Right Golf, which is down on South Campbell, a little bit north of Nixa. What do they have down there? They've got mini golf, driving range, golf simulators, disc golf. They got a little bit of everything at Swing Right. Whether it's summer, winter, fall, spring, they got a season. They got something for you to do there at Swing Right. Now, that's a little bit north of Nixa. If you're headed, east, out to, let's say, Marshfield. Well, you need a truck or a car. You got Marshfield Chevrolet. The 2026 models are in. So but wait a minute. How do you get there? Well, you go up I-44, you take a right, and then another right where at the Marshfield exit. Yeah. So then you take a left, and then another right, and you're right there at Marshfield Chevrolet. And then if you got to pay for the truck, you head on down to Rogersville, because Citizens Bank of Rogersville, where other banks have branches, they have roots. Go see Brian Van Fossen and his team at Citizens Bank of Rogersville. Parker, you still have a little bit of a way to go before you're a professional announcer. But you caught me off guard. You're coming on, man. You're coming on. You don't interrupt. You're coming on. You're getting better. Articulation is there. Your knowledge is there. You just sold all those products. Well, and I half listen to you go through those, so it puts me on the spot when I actually have to repeat word for word, because that's when I'm usually getting queued up for the starting five, which is brought to you by Travis Bell Home Loans, Travis Bell Home Loans and USA Mortgage. You got a new house picked out, you got to pay for it. Give Travis Bell and his team a call, because they've been doing this for 25 years. They will find you the best rate on your home loan. You'll have the smoothest transaction process. You'll be paying for your home in no time through Travis Bell Home Loans and USA Mortgage. You can visit travisbellhomeloans.com or call 417-818-5057. Got a really big show today. Four guests, so stay with us for the whole 2 hours. 7:15, Dan Ryder, the general manager of the Springfield Cardinals, is going to jump in with us and talk about opening night over at Hammons Field for the Springfield team. Off to a 3-0 start. They've got the Tulsa Drillers in town, so we'll talk to Dan about what opening night entails over at Hammons Field. 7:30, Corey Riggs back with us for the Missouri State Report. The voice of the Bears will be in Columbia tonight for Mizzou and Missouri State baseball. That rivalry continues. I believe 6 p.m. on that one, 6:30 here next week on that matchup. We're flip-flopping Trenton Berry. Our usual race and dirt report will be on at 8 today, because we've got a special guest at 8:30, Mr. Robert Lowe. Has a little side gig that's doing okay for him. They're the Primatara Horse Farm. Their horse Renegade won the Arkansas Derby, will be one of the favorites, if not the favorite, at the Kentucky Derby on May 2nd. Mr. Lowe will join us, and he also has a side gig called Prime Trucking out there too. Just a side dish. Yeah, he does okay with it as well. But anyway, we're blessed to have Robert Lowe joining us for a rare interview at 8:30 to talk about his passion for horse racing and horses and kind of how they got into it. So stay tuned for that. And it'll be interesting to watch when you do all the horse, and they do on the Kentucky Derby telecast.
They preview all the horses. They line them up. They get great shots. And to have a little local tie in there will be really pretty good.
Well, yeah. You know, when they were down at Oaklawn a week ago this past Saturday, which was the Arkansas Derby, a record crowd of 73,000, my understanding is there were about 50 Prime employees that got to go on that trip as well. And so I'm sure no better feeling than not only being there, but then winning the main race by 4 lengths and then being in the winner's circle in front of 73,000. That's pretty cool.
It is.
Yeah.
It'll be a very interesting interview, number one, and an interesting day coming up. Is it May 2nd or 3rd that they have?
I think it's the second. Saturday, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's our lineup. Let's cram in some starting 5 stories here because we got our first guest at 7:15, but an NCAA men's basketball champion is crowned last night as Michigan holds off a late UConn rally and wins 69-63. Yes, they cover the 6.5-point spread, 7.5 in some places. Live betting is kind of a fun thing because when they got down early, I was able to jump in and get UConn and 10.5. And I felt pretty good about that until I flipped on about 5 minutes to go, and they're down 11. And I'm like, come on, here we go. Let's get this thing going. But anyway, Michigan just too big, too talented, kind of controlled the area around the rim. Didn't shoot well. I think they were 2 for 15 from three-point range, but you're pretty good when you can have that kind of shooting night and still get the national championship.
2 for 11 from three-point, but look what they had in the paint.
Yeah.
36 to 20, I think it was. And that tells it all right there. That's where they won the game underneath and on the foul line. 25 of 28 from the foul line, and Connecticut was 12 of 16, I think it was. And this, folks, this is legitimate. This is not, oh, gosh, you fall back on the old, oh, got some home court cooking and all that. No, This was a rough basketball game. In fact, at one point I thought, am I watching a rugby match or is this basketball? I mean, bodies flying all over, diving on the court, guys clutching and pushing, and it was just a let's say they let them play in this game.
Yeah, except for at one point the foul count was 11-4 against UConn in the first half, and I thought Dan Hurley was going to blow a gasket.
But they are legitimate fouls.
Yeah,
that's all they could do.
Were. There were a couple of them that were, they called over the back, and it's kind of like, really, you're going to call that after you had guys just beat each other to death in the lane, and a guy tips the ball over somebody's head like that. They were inconsistent. The officials, I didn't think, had a very good first half. They had a better second half, but yeah, I mean, and the same thing with the women. It seemed like the motto was just let them play. And they did, and it got physical. And if you watch the bodies on the floor last night at any one point, it looked like 2 football teams going out there. I mean, they were huge, and not just tall, but huge, big bodies, and moved well. I mean, UConn, every time they tried to get an open look, they'd have to take a step back just to get a little more clearance.
And that is why their shooting percentage was just barely 30%, somewhere maybe 31%, but whatever it was, that's the reason why that 7'3" kid, the kid from Spain playing in their transfer from UCLA. Mara, and I thought he's not a real physical specimen. He's kind of tall and thin, but he utilizes his height to the fullest example, the full promise of what he can do. And he was swatting balls away. There were any number of block shots in this thing. It was a physical game.
So Michigan has it turns interesting late because UConn cuts it to 4 with 37 seconds left after a 3. Michigan misses a couple free throws. UConn's got a chance to get it maybe down to 1, but they don't. And Michigan is your champion. That is their first title since 1989. That ends I believe a 26-year drought for the Big Ten.
I think it was 2020 or 2000, I think it was.
Yeah, for the last Big Ten title, and it kept Danny Hurley from winning 3 and 4 years there. So congratulations to Michigan and Elliot Cadeau, who was a past most outstanding player at the Bass Pro Tournament Champions. Is named the MOP for Michigan there in the championship game last night. And, of course, the point guard transfer from North Carolina really stepped up 19 points last night. When you watched him 2-3 months ago, he wasn't scoring much. He was getting 10, 11, and 12, and I think he had 26 and 19 down the stretch here when it mattered. So a kid that left school a year early, if you remember, from Link Academy, could have played another year of academy ball or high school ball, but chose to go to Carolina and kind of now just really growing into who he is, I think, at the college level.
Excellent leader. He did a great job. And outside shooting's not his thing. He had 19 points, but a lot of those were drives into the basket and little dipsy-doodle underhanded shots that went in. I thought the guy played a great game, and I think he is, singularly speaking, of course, it's a team game, but singularly speaking, he's one of the reasons why Michigan had the great year that they have.
Michigan, all 5 starters were transfers, so welcome to 2026 and the portal era. Saw the same thing in football with Indiana. They had stocked up and rebuilt the worst college football program in the country in 2 or 3 years into a national champion. Michigan in 1 year goes and finds 5 new starters and wins the basketball title. So it's where we are as a team, which, by the way, I don't know if we'll get to it in time, but we've talked about Kim Caldwell at Tennessee. The portal is now officially open. She has no players left on her Tennessee roster. They have all gone in the portal. And so Tennessee will have to recruit 13 to 15 girls to come in and play for a program that is clearly not Pat Summitt's program that she built over there as well. By the way, speaking of championships, a happy anniversary to Drury fans. Today is the 13-year anniversary of the national championship down in Atlanta, April 7th, 2013. It's a date that Drury fans celebrate every year, which was a very special trip, and so I know that they like that little reminder every year as well. Corey Riggs coming on at 7:30. We'll talk more in depth about this, but it's a Bears baseball night tonight. We mentioned at Mizzou, 6 o'clock first pitch in Columbia. Caden Bogenpole is named the Conference USA Hitter of the Week. Jason Schaaf is named the Pitcher of the Week. So the Bears sweep the awards. They'll take a 21-9 record into Columbia tonight. As we mentioned, 6 o'clock start. Mizzou is 19-14, which is better than they've been. They've been pretty god-awful the last 2 or 3 years.
What are they in the conference?
3-9 in the SEC. So they've loaded up to get wins in the non-con, especially in the month of February. Now they're in SEC play. They did go to Kentucky, the number 24 team in the rankings, and take 2 out of 3 over the weekend, so they're playing better. So should be a very festive night up in Columbia, the Bears and the Tigers, and the return game is next Tuesday night here at Hammons Field. Speaking of Hammons Field, Springfield Cardinals home opener tonight. We're going to visit with Dan Ryder here in about 3 minutes. 6:35 first pitch. Brant Thompson on the hill, the former Bears pitcher for the Springfield Cardinals, and we'll talk to Dan more about that. One other local baseball note, Drury baseball, they are at number 15 Central Missouri today for a 3 o'clock game. Drury is 20-13, Central Missouri 25-8. Drury beat UCM here 8-7 back on February 10th at Metter Park, so a return game there, and that was when the Mules were number 2 in the national poll. So Drury has the return game in that rivalry series tonight, or this afternoon. A couple of Major League Baseball notes. The Royals win their opener of the series at Cleveland 4-3. Michael Wacha, another strong star on the mound, gives up 1 run in 7 innings. They get homers from Carter Jensen and Jonathan India, and they will play Game 2 at 12.
Carter Jensen woke up in time, did he?
Yeah, he got to the game. Yeah, fortunately, it was an early evening game, so he got enough sleep. 12:10 first pitch today. We're not sure why, because it's 12:10 today and 12:10 tomorrow on the Royals game, but it's Noah Cameron and Gavin Williams, the pitching matchup today in Cleveland. Cardinals fall 9-6 at the Nationals. 6-run 8th does St. Louis in. The Nationals get a 3-run homer from James Wood to tie it. Off guess who? Ryan Stanek gives up that homer. And then Brady House and C.J. Abrams homer as well, says the Nationals go on to the win. Tonight, it's Matthew Liberatore and Cade Cavalli, good young pitcher matchup there. 5:45 p.m. first pitch, and then they've got a day game tomorrow in that series. So Major League Baseball up and running, full blow. Here we go, right? 6
runs in the 8th inning. The Cardinals went into that 8th leading 6-3, and they let it get away to a Washington Nationals team that, in all honesty, young but not very good, and one that the Cardinals, you can't let games like this get away.
No, and especially against teams that aren't very good. Mm-hmm. And I mean, these are the kind of teams you need to be taking 2 out of 3 from, or sweeping a series. Even though you're young and reloading as well too. We mentioned Kim Caldwell in the portal of Tennessee. We'll talk to Corey at the bottom of the hour. Did see news that Trey Williams is staying. I believe Kobe Williams is in the portal. Tyreek Brooks announced last week through his agent that he was going in the portal for the Bears, so we'll see what Corey has on that. North Carolina has apparently filled their vacancy. Michael Malone, former Nuggets coach, has never been a head coach at the college level, gets the North Carolina job. He was last in college ball as an assistant at Manhattan in 2001, so kind of an odd hire. Word was that Billy Donovan wanted this job, the Chicago Bulls head coach.
It had to wait, though.
Yeah, and North Carolina wasn't willing to wait, and so because obviously with the portal and everything else going on, the new coach needs to jump in and get going.
It's not that he hasn't coached, folks. He's been 10 years with the Denver Nuggets and I think 2 or 3 with the Sacramento Kings, so he has pro NBA experience. But what I find to be very interesting about the hire, it's the first time in over 70 years, 7-0, first time in over that they've gone to an individual who does not have any connection at all with the University of North Carolina other than his daughter, who plays volleyball for the team. But in terms of familial connection, no, there is none.
Well, and it's a whole new world. Never having been a head coach at the college level is one thing, but never having been a head coach at the college level when there's a transfer portal and NIL is another, too. So good luck with that. Let's take a break.
Timeout on the starting lineup, and we'll be back with a little preview of the Springfield Cardinals, all that coming up.
You're listening to the starting lineup with Scott Purrier, Ned Reynolds, and Art Haynes on 102.1 The One.